Okay, I'm back because you guys are helping me to stay accountable. So, this topic in the book, and remember, it's called The Search of Significance, or let me see, Hmm, The Search for Significance. Okay, so I'd like to talk about something that a lot of people also experience, and it kind of goes in the same vein of performance trap, and it's approval addict. So it says, our self concept is determined not only by how we view ourselves, but by how we think others perceive us. Basing our self worth on what we believe others think of us causes us to become addicted to their approval. So I feel like a lot of us want validation. And I've heard people say, and I agree to an extent, that we do desire validation, and that's okay, it's normal. And we might even need validation, but it depends on who's validating us. If you're a Christian like myself, I think the validation of Christ Jesus is first and foremost. Then I think you should and you need to validate yourself, and that can be difficult for people. Then I think because we're supposed to do life with people, we're supposed to have connection, community, tribes. We're supposed to have love relationships with people, and that's all kind of relationships, platonic, family, all of that. Let those people who know you and who love you and care about you validate you. Not just any Tom, Dick, or Harry, not just any stranger, and certainly not people that show you that they don't know you well or they don't see you for who you are or they want you to change and it's, you know, their way or the highway, or people who are abusive or mistreating of you. Why let them validate you? How can they do that? So I think that it's not necessarily wrong to want validation or approval, if you will. But I think it depends on who's giving you that validation. And I think it should be God first and foremost. He's told us so many great things about how he loves us and cares for us and how he sees us. We've got to start believing him and taking him at his word. And then also yourself. We've talked before about affirmations and telling yourself, I am enough. Believing, having total faith in the fact that you are enough, even with your flaws, your insecurities, your mistakes, even with the stuff that you've done, even with those things that need to be improved upon, the changes that you need to make, you're still enough. Validate yourself. We've all been given strengths and gifts and skills and talents. There's something you can do, there's something you're good at. We all have a purpose. Find out what that is and work in it, work of it, and be able to validate yourself. Be around those people, like I talked about a little bit earlier, that love you. They know you, they care for you. The validation is genuine, the validation can be trusted, the validation is true and not to harm you. And it's solidified. I think it means so much more. So let us stop being approval addicts that are looking for anyone. Please validate me. Tell me I'm beautiful. Tell me I'm smart. Tell me I'm kind. Tell me that I'm a good person. And a lot of people are out here looking for that and looking in all the wrong places. It says, we spend much of our time building relationships, striving to please people and win their respect. And yet, after all of our sincere, conscientious effort, it takes only one unappreciative word from someone to ruin our sense of self worth. Self worth, self awareness, self love are all so very important. How quickly an insensitive word can destroy the self assurance we've worked so hard to achieve. The world we live in is filled with people who demand that we please them in exchange for their approval and acceptance. Such demands often lead us directly to a second false belief. I must be approved by certain others to feel good about myself. This is terrible. A lot of people live this way. I'm only good enough if you say I'm good enough, or if many people say I'm good enough. I only feel good about myself if someone is telling me something about me. We got to learn to tell ourselves how good we are, how enough we are, how loving we are, how kind, how beautiful, how smart, how whatever you are. And we've got to learn to believe ourselves. And it's true. Someone gave the example of Lizzo, and I love Lizzo. I think that she is highly intelligent. I think that she's charismatic in so many ways. I love her music. I think she's creative. I think she's talented. I think she can sing. I love, 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 love. I'm doing the violin, but she plays the flute. And I think she's amazing. And I love the confidence and self love that she seemingly had. And I loved it because it wasn't like she came from this great two-parent home where it was so easy to be oneself and love yourself, and people were pouring into you and encouraging you towards that end. But it turns out that she had experienced a bit of homelessness. Her dad had died, and she had a tough go of it. And she did not love herself at all times. And she did have a problem maybe with her weight. She did have experiences where people did certain things towards her because of her weight. And she fought and won to love herself. And I think that that is even more victorious than if it was so easy for you to do it based on environment or family or circumstance. And now people are ragging on her for doing some kind of detox, which I'm about to start tomorrow. And I didn't hear it and see it myself, and I'm not sure how true it is, but I was listening to a YouTuber, and she was talking about how people validate and need approval, and it's okay, but get it from the good, right source. And she mentioned Lizzo and said a little bit about how people are ragging on her, which I had heard about. But then she said something about now she's trying to lose weight, and she had all that good old self love for herself that we saw, and I believe that. And then now the YouTuber was saying, Lizzo mentioned, "Oh, I'm disturbed by my body, or I'm disgusted by it." That is not reflective of self love. And I don't know her personally, and I think she's amazing, no shade at all. But it's almost as if any of that is all true, you have a person that had self love, self awareness. They knew who they were. They loved who they were. They felt good and comfortable in their skin enough to have their butt cheeks out in public and to twerk and to dance. And a beautiful person that seemingly has a beautiful personality, definitely talented. And then now so many people are coming at this person that now is distorting their self-awareness, is distorting their picture of themselves. So now they're talking to the point of disgust with the same body that they seemingly celebrated, that they fought to love. So yeah, people's words, people's perceptions, and our innate kind of approval seeking from people can destroy self-esteem, self-awareness, self-love. It can distort the picture of ourselves. So I don't know all about all of that. I know I've seen it. I know I've experienced it to a degree in different ways. So we've got to stop admiring people to the degree that we put them above ourselves. And we've got to love ourselves enough to find out who we are and to have self-awareness and let that grow into self-love and self-confidence and self-esteem, because it all starts there. And then you won't be so worried and pressed about who says what. And even though it's harder when so many people, the masses, are coming at you for sure, we can learn to defend ourselves and fight off what so-and-so has to say. So I think that, you know, it's a big problem that we rely on what somebody else has to say about us and believe it quicker. And if you think about it, and I think there's some scientific statistics and different things that back it up, some kind of research, but it's almost like we will take negative news, or we'll take negative statements about ourselves quicker, even from someone else, than we'll grab positive. A lot of people, men and women, don't even know how to take a compliment. They'll be like, "Oh, you're beautiful." "Oh, really? I don't think I look that great today." But if somebody were to say, "Oh, you ugly," people let that get into their mind and into their heart and seep in. So it's almost like we're a glutton for punishment. Not only are we seeking others' approval and putting their own word and what they're saying about us above what we're saying and letting it dictate how we feel, all of which is just not great. But then we're going to take and believe the negative before the positive a lot of times. We got to change that mindset. We have to stop being approval addicts. We got to start loving ourselves. We have to be consistent in that. We have to fight the good fight for self-awareness, self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence. And not in a narcissistic way, not in a prideful way or self-centered way, but in a way that is God approved, that is righteous and holy, a way that is healthy, and a way that is good. We've got to start loving on ourselves and seeking our own approval and our own validation, and then nurturing healthy, loving, mutual, reciprocal, relationships with others where we can trust that your validation is genuine. And it still doesn't make or break us, but we can trust that you love us, that you care, that if you say, girl, you can do that, or you're looking great today, or you're this or you're that, or this is what I see, or this is what I know you can do, that, we take it in stride and it means something, but it's not the be all end all, because the be all end all is what God says about us, and then what we ourselves say about us. And we're going to start ensuring that we say, think, and act towards those things, towards ourselves positively and lovingly, and believe it here and here. All right, guys. Bye.